It's a grim problem, human trafficking, and despite international attention to the issue, statistics show it's on the rise. The Stories Foundation is a local nonprofit that fights human trafficking. It now has plans to build on its mission. Reporter Shannon Sladden spoke with the nonprofit about those plans.
Stories Foundation, we're a nonprofit organization that exists to raise awareness about the realities of human trafficking. We want to talk to as many people as we possibly can to let them know that this is something that exists. It's not just a third world problem. It exists in the United States. It exists in Minnesota. In fact, in every county of Minnesota, there's not one county that is exempt from that. And our mission and our vision is simply this. We want to inspire communities, influence culture, and implement action to help fight the realities of human trafficking.
And what does human trafficking look like here in the metro area?
It takes on a lot of different forms. It is of sex trafficking, labor trafficking. It happens in the suburbs, in rural areas. People are preying on the vulnerable, on the ones who they are trained to seek out and find those young people who are hurting, who are lost, who are homeless. And homeless doesn't necessarily mean they're out on the streets. Homeless is couch hopping, where people are sleeping on a friend's couch for a couple of days and they move to someone else. There are those people who are preying on those people. They know the signs. They look for people like that.
All right. You guys are doing some exciting things, though, coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
We are. The executive director, Stephanie Page, is so busy. Every day she is talking with people, meeting with people, different organizations. She says she will meet with anyone, anywhere to talk about this.
Okay.
And that is true, regardless of the size of the group. She just wants people to know about this. And then in Ramsey, we have purchased land in between Ramsey Boulevard and Andover Boulevard, where our goal is to build what's called the Storyteller Cafe. And the Storyteller Cafe is not just going to be a place where good food and good coffee is going to be served, but it's also going to be a place where people who have made their product using fair wages. Most of what we wear, in fact, the clothes that you and I are wearing, probably were made with slave labor. So we want to have a place where people who have products that have been made paying a fair wage can sell their products. There's going to be meeting spaces where local organizations in the community can come together and do their business there. But then there's also going to be 3 apartments up on the upper level that will allow us to house the vulnerable, to help people get off the streets and train them and assist them in getting their lives back together.
All right, that's a big lift. How's fundraising going toward that?
Well, fundraising is always hard. If you've ever had to do that, it is not a fun thing, and it is a tough thing to do.
Sure.
We've been doing a lot of different things, and our most recent effort is these bracelets. We have 30,000 of these bracelets that say your story matters. And what the message we want to get out to people is that everyone has a story and everyone's story matters, regardless of your age, your situation, or anything like that. But in particular, as it relates to human trafficking, those people where the average age is 15 that are coerced and manipulated into trafficking, they have a story. They're having their very childhood ripped from them. And we want people to know that they have a story and their story matters. And by purchasing a bracelet for $15, those who do that, please know you are making a difference in the fight against human trafficking.
All right, and I know this is a lot for you and Stephanie, something you guys kind of just jumped into as an average family. How's it been rewarding, and how do you guys just keep going?
It's hard, I'm not going to lie about that, but the rewards come when we hear success stories. You know, this movie Sound of Freedom came out, and that raised a lot of awareness about sex trafficking and human trafficking. Now, we don't have the resources that the individual did there in that movie. We're at the grassroots level. So, for example, we were just up in Duluth at a youth conference, and students latched on to this concept. They all have heard about human trafficking, and in fact, they are the ones who are purchasing just a lot of these bracelets because they want people to know that this is a reality. So that's rewarding. When we work with survivors and help them get their feet back on the ground, that's rewarding. We're not the ones who are going to be busting down doors and that kind of stuff as much as we would like to. And I would like to think that our efforts are going to eradicate this thing called human trafficking, but we know that's not a reality either. But if we can make a difference in someone's life, if we can help them stay out of trafficking, recognize the signs of what traffickers look like, recognize what the signs are in their friends who have been trafficked, if we can raise awareness and help save people from that or get them out of that 1% at a time, then there's our success.
All right. Thanks for the work that you do. Mark Thurston with Stories Foundation. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having us.
Spring is in full swing and some flowers are already in bloom. Emily Haugen takes us to a Golden Valley home that draws people near and far.
On cloudy days in Golden Valley, you don't have to go far for a bright pick-me-up.
This is actually going to be a sea of daffodils. Every year there's going to be more and more and more.
Warren Kapsner's house on Edgewood Avenue seems to do the trick.
The daffodils just every year and every year. And I didn't have many, but they expand and they're resilient.
Warren specializes in resilient plants, his bushes and trees for two.
That's really more of a shade plant.
And the daffodils fit right in.
This was all grass. The whole thing was grass.
Back in 2021, he had about 2,500. Just 3 years later, that volume has at least doubled.
Then it really amounted to something, and I thought, well, I'm going to put a lot more in. So now there are 5,000 bulbs.
Warren's daffodil patch could have up to 10,000 flowers in it at peak. You might ask, why so many?
It makes a statement.
Around this time of year, neighbors from near and far stop by the lawn.
People are just amazed. They really think it's just wonderful. And they're very thankful.
Warren says he does it for those reactions. The springy perennials are just a bonus.
Warren welcomes anyone to stop by his daffodil display. He's located at 130 Edgewood Avenue South in Golden Valley.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.